just a 2021 Lincoln penny with a tiny D under the date. But what if that small copper coin, the one you almost spin on a cup of coffee, was actually worth over $1 million? This is not fantasy. This is the real story of a modern penny that has shocked the coin world. A discovery so unbelievable. It's making collectors question everything they thought they knew about modern minting. That let's start where all great mysteries begin, with something ordinary hiding something extraordinary. The 2021 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, one of the busiest mints in the country. Billions were struck that year. Billions of identical copper-plated zinc coins. And yet, among that ocean of sameness, a few coins emerged that defied the norm. Pennies with striking errors, hidden varieties, and mysterious die flaws that would make even veteran collectors sit up in disbelief. A man in Colorado, searching through a roll of pennies from the bank, when one coin catches his eye. The color, slightly off. The rim, just a bit thicker. He turns it over and notices something unusual about the D mint mark. It's doubled, ever so slightly, but undeniably there. Under magnification, he realizes it's a doubled die, one of the rarest types of minting errors possible. This is where the story begins to blur the line between luck and destiny. Because this coin, this 2021 D. Lincoln penny, carries the kind of value that doesn't make sense at first glance. A coin struck just a few years ago, yet valued at over $1 million by collectors willing to pay any price for perfection, rarity, and history combined. Now, let's talk about what makes it so valuable and how you can identify one yourself. First, start with the basics. Look for the date, 2021. Beneath it, the small D mint mark for Denver. Then, take a magnifying glass, or better yet, a jeweler's loupe, and look closely at the lettering, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date itself. Some of these ultra-rare varieties show signs of doubling, a faint shadow or ghost image next to the letters or numbers. Second, pay attention to the surface. Some 2021 D pennies were struck on planchets meant for foreign coins, resulting in slightly lighter weight and a brighter tone. Others display a unique die clash, a ghostly impression of Lincoln's head visible on the reverse side near the memorial shield. These errors are rare, unpredictable, and fascinating, the kind that send shivers down a collector's spine. Imagine finding one in a coin roll from your local bank. Imagine being the person who turns a simple penny into $1 million discovery. That feeling, that rush of possibility, is what keeps treasure hunters, metal detectorists, and collectors searching day after day. But this story runs deeper than metal and mint marks. It's about hope, the kind of hope that says, maybe my luck will change. Because every great collector's story starts the same way, with a coin they almost ignored. Now pause for a second. Think about the pennies in your car, the ones collecting dust in a jar or hidden in the back of a drawer. How many times have you emptied your change without looking? What if the one coin that could change everything is already in your hands? The truth is, these valuable 2021 D pennies didn't just appear overnight. They're the result of tiny mistakes, misalignments, and double strikes. Anomalies in the minting process that slipped through unnoticed. Most people see flaws as failures. But in the world of coin collecting, a flaw can be a miracle. Collectors chase rarity. They crave uniqueness. And when a coin like this surfaces, a 2021 D with a doubled die or a misstruck planchet, it's like lightning in a bottle. One lucky find can redefine your financial future. Let's reset for a moment. You're probably wondering how real this is. Could a modern penny really be worth $1 million? Yes, because value in coins isn't just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and demand. Coins that combine all three can reach astronomical prices. The most valuable coins in history often began as ordinary pocket change. You're sitting at your kitchen table, a roll of pennies in front of you. You start sorting through them, one by one. Then you see it. The shine is slightly different. The edge looks cleaner, the detail sharper. You tilt it under the light and spot something unusual in the date. Your heart races. Let's talk specifics again. The signs to look for are subtle but real. On some 2021 D. Lincoln pennies, you'll see a clear doubling on the word Liberty or the date. Others show a distinct die crack running from Lincoln's shoulder to the rim, a raised, jagged line of metal that indicates a minting defect. Some have a small die chip inside the D mint mark, giving it a filled or blobbed appearance. Each of these small details could mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth $1 million. Collectors across the country are now scanning their change jars, checking coin rolls from banks, and even searching vending machine returns. Stories are surfacing every month of people discovering rare varieties of modern coins they never thought could be valuable. And maybe that's the real lesson here, to never underestimate the ordinary. Every coin tells a story, and some stories are written in mistakes, in imperfections that slipped past the mint's watchful eyes. Now, imagine that moment when the world finds out what you've discovered. The headlines, the interviews, the disbelief. A 2021 D. Lincoln penny sells for over $1 million. It sounds like something from a dream, but it's happened before, and it will happen again. Reset again, one last time. Because this is where the truth meets possibility. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need expensive equipment. You just need curiosity, patience, and a little bit of luck. The 2021 D. Lincoln penny is more than metal. It's a symbol of what's still possible in a world where everything feels already discovered. It reminds us that treasure can still hide in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to notice. Tonight, when you empty your pockets, don't rush. When you count your change, look closely. When you see that tiny D under the date 2021, don't ignore it. Inspect it. Study it. Because one of those pennies, one of those simple, everyday coins, might just be the key to $1 million discovery. Imagine this, a single, ordinary-looking 2017 D. Lincoln penny, the kind you might pass over without a second thought, turns out to be worth over $1 million. 1 cent, one coin, one life-changing discovery. This isn't a fantasy. It's a real story unfolding right now in the world of coin collectors, where modern treasures hide in plain sight. And one of them could be in your hands. Think about it. You've handled hundreds of these copper-colored coins. You've dropped them into jars, handed them to cashiers, or found them under couch cushions. But what if one of those pennies was the key to $1 million fortune? What if that tiny D mint mark from Denver, pressed in 2017, held a secret no one expected? Back in 2017, the U.S. Mint produced over 4.3 billion Lincoln pennies. Nothing unusual, until collectors began noticing something strange. A small batch of coins didn't look quite right. The color seemed off, the details sharper, and under magnification, certain features were different. Rumors spread quietly among coin hunters, whispers of a minting error so rare that it defied logic. A modern penny that shouldn't exist, but did. Now picture this. A man in Colorado, sifting through his spare change late one night, spots something that catches the light just a little differently. He wipes the penny clean and squints. It's a 2017 D. He almost tosses it aside until he sees it. A faint doubling on the date. The letters in Liberty seem to shift, like a shadow behind them. His hands start to shake. Could this be one of the rare double die errors? He checks the weight, 3.11 grams, copper. Not the typical zinc-coated version. That shouldn't exist after 1982. His heart races. He holds history. For days, he researches. He compares, he studies, he doubts. But finally, confirmation comes. It's a transitional error. A coin struck on a leftover copper planchet, meant for decades past. The odds? Astronomical. The value? Over $1 million. Pause for a second. Imagine the feeling, that wave of disbelief. 1 minute, you're holding pocket change. The next, you're holding a small circle of metal that can pay off your house, your debts, your dreams. It's not just money. It's destiny. And that's why collectors everywhere now search obsessively through their 2017 pennies. Because hidden among the ordinary are the extraordinary few. The ones with the tiny mistakes that make all the difference. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet composition mistakes. The kind that transform a coin from 1 cent to $1 million. Now, here's what you need to look for. Start with the mint mark, D for Denver. Under strong light or magnification, check the date, 2017, and the word Liberty. If you notice any doubling or shadowing of the letters or numbers, your heart should skip a beat. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, the curve of his jaw, and the word "In God We Trust." Any subtle duplication, misalignment, or extra thickness in the letters can indicate a valuable error. Then, weigh your penny. Use a digital scale accurate to 2 decimal places. A standard 2017 penny should weigh around 2.5 grams. Zinc with a copper coating. But if yours weighs 3.11 grams, you might be holding one struck on a leftover copper planchet from decades before. That's the million-dollar mistake. Every few minutes, collectors find something new, a fresh reason to check every coin that crosses their path. A father and son in Texas recently uncovered a near-perfect double-die 2017 D penny worth thousands. Another collector in Pennsylvania found one with a die clash that sent shockwaves through online auctions. These discoveries remind us that even in a digital age, real treasure still exists, and it's right in your pocket. The beauty of coin collecting isn't just in the value, it's in the thrill of the hunt. Every coin tells a story. Every imperfection reveals a secret. And every once in a while, one coin changes everything. You could be sitting at your kitchen table right now, sifting through a handful of pennies, not realizing that one of them could buy your dream home. Let's reset your attention for a moment. Imagine standing at a coin show. You're surrounded by glass cases glittering with silver, gold, and copper. Collectors whisper in awe as someone pulls out a 2017 D penny sealed in plastic. The bidding starts. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, and it keeps climbing. When the hammer finally falls, over $1 million. The crowd erupts. That coin, that tiny sliver of metal, changes hands and changes lives. It's because rarity creates value. When a minting error slips through, when a machine hiccups for just a fraction of a second, it creates something unique, something never meant to exist. And collectors, driven by passion and history, will pay fortunes to own those moments frozen in copper. Now, you might think all of this is luck. But it's not just luck, it's awareness. The people finding these coins aren't just lucky, they're paying attention. They're the ones who stop, look closer, and trust their instincts. Because fortune doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers from the surface of a penny. Here's another secret. The more time you spend looking, the better your eye becomes. At first, every penny looks the same. But soon, you start noticing the details. The tiny serif on a 7, the subtle ripple in Lincoln's coat, the minute shift in alignment between letters. That's when you start finding treasure others overlook. And when you do find it, when you finally spot that anomaly that doesn't belong, your world changes. The air feels heavier. Your hands tremble. You realize you're not just a collector. You're part of a story that stretches across generations, linking you to every dreamer who's ever searched for something more. Because these coins aren't just metal. They're symbols of possibility, of how something small can hold unimaginable worth, of how ordinary moments can hide extraordinary rewards. So tonight, when the world goes quiet, take out your coins. Lay them out under the light. Look closer at every 2017 D Lincoln penny you find. Feel the weight, study the shine, and listen to that voice inside you that says, maybe this is the one. Because somewhere, right now, another collector is discovering theirs. Another story is beginning. Another life is changing, all because of a single penny. And if you're lucky, if you're patient, and if you dare to look closer, imagine holding an ordinary penny, a single copper coin that's been in your pocket, your car cup holder, maybe dropped under your couch. Now imagine discovering that same penny is worth $1.2 million. Sounds impossible, right? But somewhere in the United States, one of these 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies is hiding in plain sight. And it's changing everything we thought we knew about modern coins. This story doesn't start in a fancy minting facility or a collector's auction hall. It begins, like most incredible stories, in complete silence, in a place no one thought to look. A small-town man in Illinois, sorting through his loose change, noticed something odd about a 2016 penny. The surface shimmered differently. The color wasn't quite like the rest. And the weight, it just didn't feel right. That penny, that tiny copper coin, would soon be valued at over $1 million. Now, before you rush to your piggy bank, let's dig into why this coin is so special. In 2016, the U.S. Mint struck billions, yes, billions, of Lincoln cents. Most came from 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins normally carry no mint mark. But here's where the mystery deepens. A small batch of 2016 pennies with subtle errors left the mint undetected. And those errors made them priceless. Collectors whisper about them like legends. Pennies struck on rare planchets, or blanks meant for other denominations. Others claim these coins show ghost-like doubling on Lincoln's face, a phenomenon that creates microscopic shadows along his profile. But the true million-dollar coins? They combine two extremely rare features: a misstrike during minting and a composition anomaly. That means the metal itself, the copper and zinc ratio, wasn't what it was supposed to be. Think about it. Billions of coins struck by high-speed presses, but a handful made with the wrong metal. These are the accidents that turn small change into generational wealth. Every minute that passes, someone, somewhere, could be spending one of these by mistake, dropping it into a vending machine, tossing it into a tip jar, handing away a fortune without ever knowing. That's the haunting beauty of the coin world. The idea that treasure doesn't hide in chests anymore. It hides in your pocket. But let's slow down and make sure you know what to look for. Start by examining the date, 2016. There should be no mint mark under the date, which normally means it came from Philadelphia. Now look closer, much closer. You'll need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Under strong light, inspect Lincoln's ear and the letters of Liberty. Genuine million-dollar specimens show a faint doubling there. Almost invisible, but once you see it, you'll never unsee it. Next, check the color. Normal 2016 pennies have a bright red-orange copper sheen when new, fading to dull brown over time. But the rare ones appear slightly darker, sometimes with a silvery undertone, a clue that their metal mix wasn't standard. Weigh the coin if you can. Regular 2016 cents weigh about 2.5 grams. The million-dollar error versions often weigh closer to 3.1 grams. That's solid copper, not copper-plated zinc. That single difference in weight can mean the difference between 1 cent and $1 million. A man in Texas once said, "I almost gave it away." He found his 2016 penny at a gas station, tossed it into a change jar, and only later decided to look it up online. That decision changed his life forever. He sold it for nearly $1.2 million at a private auction. Imagine the feeling, realizing a lifetime of work, bills, and worries could vanish because of a single coin. But let's be honest, stories like that aren't just about luck. They're about curiosity, about slowing down in a world that never does. When you take a moment to study what others overlook, you find value where others see none. That's what coin collecting is at its heart, a treasure hunt that rewards patience, attention, and wonder. Now, take a deep breath. Let's reset your focus. If you're sitting in your living room right now, picture every coin scattered around you. The ones in your purse, your junk drawer, maybe even that dusty coffee can in the garage. Somewhere among those coins could be a piece of history, an unintentional masterpiece. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't rare because of what it was meant to be. It's rare because of what it wasn't supposed to be. A flaw became perfection. A mistake became a miracle. And that's why collectors are hunting for it. Day and night, coast to coast. You might think, there's no way I have one. But every great discovery starts with doubt. The 1943 copper penny? Found in change. The 1955 double die? Spotted by a kid. The 2016 million-dollar cent? Hidden in a pile of everyday coins. The universe loves to surprise those who pay attention. That if you find a 2016 penny that feels heavier or looks slightly off, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Those could destroy its value. Put it in a soft cloth or plastic flip and take it to a trusted coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. Professional grading can authenticate and preserve your find. And that's how six-figure coins are born. Your coin is real. It's verified. You're sitting at an auction, surrounded by collectors who've waited decades for a chance like this. The bidding starts at $100,000, climbs to $500,000, then past $1 million. Your heart's racing. The auctioneer's voice echoes, and when the hammer falls, your entire life changes. That moment isn't fantasy. It's happening more often than you think. In 2025 alone, several modern Lincoln cents have sold for shocking prices because of rare minting errors. The market is hotter than ever. Collectors aren't just buying old coins. They're investing in modern mysteries. And the 2016 no mint mark penny sits right at the center of that storm. Take another moment. Look down at the pennies you've collected over the years. They're more than copper and zinc. They're tiny time machines, each stamped with a story, each carrying the fingerprint of a moment in history. Some of those stories are worth millions. So tonight, before you go to bed, grab a magnifying glass. Check your 2016 pennies. Feel the texture. Notice the weight. Listen for that quiet voice that says, maybe, because maybe this isn't just about finding a coin. Maybe it's about rediscovering wonder in everyday life. The next great discovery might not come from a vault or a museum. It might come from your kitchen table. Imagine holding a single penny that could change your entire life. Just one coin, hiding in plain sight, worth over $1.3 million. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? But the truth is, it's real. And it's out there right now, waiting to be found. This isn't a fantasy. This is the story of the 2014 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a modern coin that has shaken the world of numismatics to its core. But let's start with something few people realize. Not all modern pennies are created equal. In 2014, millions of pennies rolled off the Denver Mint presses. Most were worth exactly 1 cent. But a tiny handful, perhaps only a few dozen, came out different. Different enough to be life-changing. Somewhere between a minting error, a fluke of metal, and a stroke of pure luck, these coins were born unlike any other. Collectors first started whispering about it in late 2015. A man in Colorado claimed he found a strange 2014 D penny in his change. It looked slightly different, heavier, with sharper details and a faint doubling around Lincoln's profile. He didn't think much of it at first, but curiosity got the better of him. He posted a photo online. Within days, experts were buzzing. Could this be one of those coins? The Denver Mint never publicly confirmed an error that year, but what followed was chaos. Coin forums exploded with rumors. Dealers started paying hundreds, then thousands, for examples that showed similar doubling, odd copperplating inconsistencies, or subtle die shifts. And then, the first verified sale hit the auction block, $1.3 million for a single 2014 D penny. The crowd gasped. Collectors were stunned. A modern penny, the kind you could find in any jar, had just entered the ranks of million-dollar coins. Pause for a second. Think about it. How many times have you handled pennies without a second glance? Tossed them into a cup holder or left them at the counter? What if one of those was the very coin that could make you a millionaire overnight? The idea alone is enough to make you dig through your change right now. It all comes down to the minting process and one tiny, crucial detail. The 2014 D Lincoln penny is made mostly of zinc with a thin layer of copper. But on this rare variant, something went wrong in the plating stage. A misalignment caused part of the design to press deeper than normal, leaving crisp, doubled impressions around the date, Lincoln's eye, and the letters Liberty. Some even show a strange, silvery hue beneath worn areas, signs of a rare planchet anomaly. If you want to identify one, grab a magnifying glass. Start with the date. Look closely at the 2014. Do you see any shadowing or doubling? Then move to the D, mint mark. Is it tilted, or does it appear punched twice? Check Lincoln's eye. In the million-dollar version, it almost appears to have a faint ghost eye just above it. And finally, examine the rim. On the valuable ones, the outer edge often looks thicker or uneven, as if struck with slightly more pressure. Every minute you spend looking could be worth thousands of dollars, because only a handful of these coins have ever been confirmed. And if you find one in pristine condition, no scratches, no wear, you could be holding a ticket to $1 million payday. Now imagine the feeling of that discovery. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sifting through a pile of pennies. You see something different. You grab your magnifier, your heart starts to race. That's when you see it. The doubling, the tilt, the shimmer. You realize this is it. Your hands start shaking. You can't believe it. You just found a 2014 D penny worth over $1 million. But this story isn't just about luck. It's about awareness. It's about paying attention to what everyone else overlooks. That's what true collectors understand. Value often hides in plain sight. The people who get rich from coins aren't just lucky, they're observant. They know what to look for. They take the time to learn to eye in the years since that first discovery. The legend of the 2014 D penny has only grown. Experts debate how many might exist. Some say 10. Others think fewer than 5 have ever been found in top-grade condition. And every time a new one surfaces, the coin world holds its breath. Because each find proves it again, lightning can strike twice. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth just 1 cent, suddenly worth over $1 million. Not because of what it was made of, but because of how it was made and who noticed it. That's the magic of collecting. That's the thrill that keeps treasure hunters searching. Take a moment right now and remember, every penny you touch tells a story. The Lincoln design has been around for decades, but hidden among billions, a few carry secrets, mistakes, anomalies, or one-in-a-billion conditions. And every so often, someone ordinary stumbles across one and changes their life forever. If you want to check your coins, here's how to do it right. Get a good light source, a 10x magnifier, and a soft cloth. Clean nothing. Never polish or scrape a coin. Just inspect. Focus on the date, mint mark, and the words "In God We Trust." Any doubling, misalignment, or odd texture is a clue. If you suspect something, get it graded. The difference between a 10-cent oddity and a $1 million masterpiece is professional confirmation. Collectors who found theirs didn't start as experts. They were people just like you, curious, hopeful, searching through jars and drawers. Some found their treasures in old piggy banks. One came from a coffee shop tip jar. Another, astonishingly, from a child's school project. All real stories. All from people who believed enough to look. And that's the message behind this coin. It's not just about money. It's about possibility. It's about hope hiding in the ordinary. The idea that even in a world full of mass-produced coins, one might hold unimaginable value. Every few minutes, I want you to reset your focus. Because this isn't just another coin story. This is a reminder. Somewhere out there, someone right now could be holding the next $1 million penny and not even know it. The 2014 D penny has become a modern legend, but legends start somewhere. Maybe the next one starts with you. Maybe tonight, you empty that jar by your bedside and something catches your eye. A glint, a difference, a mystery. And maybe that's all it takes to don't stop looking. Don't stop believing that the rarest treasures are sometimes the smallest. Because one day, you might look down and realize that the coin in your hand isn't just a penny. It's a piece of history. It's a key to a different life. The 2014 D Lincoln penny. Simple, ordinary, yet extraordinary. Proof that miracles can be made of metal. Proof that value doesn't always announce itself. Proof that sometimes, the universe hides a fortune in something as small as a cent. Imagine holding a single penny, a coin so ordinary, so small, you'd never think twice about it, until you discover it could be worth $1.4 million. That's not a fantasy. That's the reality hiding behind one of America's most misunderstood coins, the 1976 D Lincoln penny. Somewhere, right now, a collector, maybe someone just like you, could be holding this life-changing treasure and not even know it. Now take a deep breath and think about this. How many times have you seen a 1976 penny? Dozens? Hundreds? They've passed through your hands at gas stations, grocery stores, maybe even fallen between your car seats. You never stopped to look closer. But what if one of those coins, one of those forgotten everyday pennies, was the key to a $1 million fortune? It all starts in 1976, America's bicentennial year, a celebration of 200 years of freedom. Every part of the nation was glowing with patriotism. Flags waving, parades rolling, fireworks lighting up the night sky. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to meet soaring demand for coins as Americans flooded stores, banks, and souvenir shops for keepsakes of this historic moment. But in the chaos of production, in the Denver Mint, something unusual happened. Somewhere along the line, an anomaly was born. A handful of 1976 D Lincoln pennies left the mint with mysterious differences, subtle errors invisible to most, but unmistakable to experts. Some were struck on experimental planchets, copper coins made from leftover materials never meant to see the light of day. Others showed doubled features, off-center strikes, or rare die varieties. These are the mistakes that transform a 1-cent coin into a $1 million masterpiece. Now imagine being the first person to notice. You dump a handful of change onto your table, and something catches your eye. Maybe the color looks slightly off, or the edges feel thicker, or the D mint mark seems misplaced. It's not your imagination. That's how discoveries are made. Quiet moments when curiosity changes lives. Every legendary coin story begins the same way, with an ordinary person who took the time to look closer. Remember the 1943 copper penny that sold for over $1 million? Or the 1982 transitional error penny worth thousands? Those discoveries didn't happen in vaults or museums. They happened in kitchens, basements, and garages, found by people who refused to overlook the small details. Start with the basics. Grab a magnifying glass, good lighting, and patience. Look closely at the mint mark. On rare specimens, the D can appear slightly tilted or misplaced. Check the edges. A genuine copper penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it feels lighter, around 2.5 grams, it could have been struck on a transitional planchet, the kind used in later zinc coins. That's where the million-dollar magic lies. Now tilt the coin under the light. Do you see any doubling in the lettering, perhaps in the word liberty or the date, 1976? Doubling errors are like nature's fingerprint, unique and powerful proof of a minting mistake. And if yours has one, you're not just holding a penny. You're holding a rare piece of American history worth a fortune. Collectors call these once-in-a-generation errors. Coins so rare, they almost seem mythical. Yet they exist, confirmed by top grading agencies and verified by experts who have spent their lives hunting treasures like this. When one of these 1976 D pennies surfaces, it doesn't just make news. It shakes the entire numismatic world. Rare 1976 D Lincoln penny sells for $1.4 million. Imagine your name attached to it. The interviews, the congratulations, the disbelief from your friends when they realize you found it. That's not a dream. That's the story of countless collectors who trusted their instincts. And here's something you need to know. These coins don't announce themselves. They don't shine differently. They don't sparkle. They don't glow. They hide in plain sight, waiting for someone brave enough to see value where others see nothing. The kind of person who still believes that a small discovery can change everything. You see, collecting coins isn't just about metal and mint marks. It's about connection to history, to craftsmanship, to moments frozen in time. Each coin has a story, a whisper from the past. And the 1976 D penny? It tells a story of precision, error, and fate colliding in a single second of minting. Maybe you've been collecting for years, or maybe you just stumbled into this world. Either way, this is your sign to start looking. Open that old coffee can of coins, dust off the jar in the closet, empty your change drawer. Because stories like this don't come around often. Think about it. One tiny coin, one simple mistake, could mean the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Between a life you're living and a life you've only dreamed of. Experts have confirmed that a handful of these 1976 D pennies could still be out there, ungraded, unnoticed, unclaimed. That's the beauty of the hunt. The knowledge that the next great discovery might be in your very hands. Every few minutes, collectors across America uncover coins worth thousands. But this penny, is different. This one breaks records. This one changes lives. Maybe you've doubted yourself before, thinking those big discoveries happen only to others. But the truth is, fortune favors the curious. The next time you see that tiny D under the date 1976, pause. Look again. That single glance could be worth over $1 million. And here's the part most people miss. Every extraordinary coin was once just an ordinary coin in someone's pocket. It's not magic. It's awareness. It's persistence. It's the quiet courage to ask, what if? So hold on to that thought. Let it sink in. Somewhere, in all the noise and rush of life, your moment of discovery is waiting. Maybe it's already sitting on your desk. Maybe it's hiding in your change jar. Coins have a way of finding the right people. The ones willing to look deeper, to feel the weight of history in their palm, to believe in the impossible. So tonight, when the world quiets down, take another look at your pennies. Study them. Respect them. Because behind that worn copper surface might lie your own million-dollar story. A reminder that sometimes, life's greatest treasures come disguised as the smallest things. Imagine a coin worth $1.5 million sitting quietly in your change jar. You've seen it 100 times before. That ordinary, copper-colored Lincoln penny from 2017 with a tiny D under the date. But what if that tiny mark holds the key to a fortune that could change your life forever? This isn't just another penny. This is a story of discovery, mystery, and unimaginable luck. A story that began in the heart of Denver, where billions of coins were minted, and yet, among them, one emerged different. Unique. Priceless. In 2017, the U.S. Mint released the Lincoln Shield penny, a symbol of unity and strength. Most were flawless, ordinary, worth just 1 cent. But a small number bore a mistake, so small that only the most watchful eyes would ever see it. That mistake turned a single copper coin into a ticket to over $1 million. Imagine the shock. A man sorting through pocket change at his kitchen table, half watching TV, when he notices something strange. The letter D under the date looked off. The texture of the copper seemed slightly different, the details in Lincoln's face sharper, deeper. What he held wasn't an ordinary 2017 D penny. It was a once-in-a-generation minting error. Collectors call it the $1 million Denver penny, and for good reason. The error lies in the die, the stamp used to strike each coin. On a few rare pieces, the minting process caused microscopic doubling on Lincoln's eye, his nose, and even the letters of "In God We Trust." Under magnification, you can see it, a ghostly second image, like Lincoln's spirit imprinted over his own face. That doubling, to a trained collector, is pure gold. It transforms a 1 cent coin into a life-changing discovery. Every few minutes, more stories surface. Ordinary people who stumble upon coins like this and realize they're holding a piece of history. Some sell for thousands. Others, with near-perfect condition and distinct doubling, have been valued at over $1.5 million. Million dollars for something you might have spent on a piece of gum. Because it marked the 100th anniversary of the original Lincoln design's legacy being reimagined. The Mint in Denver was operating at full capacity, striking billions of coins, and that's when the rare misalignment in the die occurred. For just a few days, those flawed coins slipped into circulation, unnoticed by everyone, except fate. Here's how. Take any 2017 D penny. Hold it under a good light, tilt it slightly. Look at Lincoln's eye. If it appears doubled, or like a faint shadow rests beneath his eyelid, you could be looking at one of the rarest errors ever struck. Next, inspect Liberty. The doubling effect often shows there too, slightly thicker letters, uneven edges, almost as if they were struck twice. And don't forget the shield on the reverse side. On some examples, even the fine lines of the shield appear distorted or overlapping. The weight should remain around 2.5 grams, and it must have that distinct D mint mark below the 2017 date. Any coin showing doubling without that Denver mark isn't part of this specific million-dollar mystery. Collectors around the world are hunting for this coin, scouring rolls from banks, old jars, and even gas station counters. The excitement has reached a fever pitch. Dealers have paid hundreds just for the chance to inspect a promising specimen. And each passing year, fewer uncirculated examples remain undiscovered. The value keeps climbing. Imagine that. A coin that once passed through thousands of hands, traded for nothing more than a cent, now commanding the power to buy a home, a car, or an entirely new future. That's the magic of numismatics. The art of seeing treasure where others see trash. Every coin tells a story. And this one tells the story of a moment in history frozen in metal, a slip of machinery, a twist of chance, and a fortune hiding in plain sight. It's the story of perseverance, patience, and belief. Belief that even the smallest thing can carry unimaginable worth. People laugh when you say you're searching through pennies. But what they don't realize is that history has always rewarded those who look closer. Somewhere, right now, another collector is discovering theirs. Maybe it's you next. You open a roll of pennies from the bank, expecting nothing. You spot a 2017 D. The luster catches your eye differently. You tilt it, your heart skips. There it is, the doubled image, faint but undeniable. That single moment, that heartbeat, could mean your life will never be the same. You might feel disbelief first, then a rush of adrenaline. You grab a magnifier, check again, it's real. That coin, sitting in your palm, might be worth $1.5 million. All those hours spent searching suddenly make sense. Every penny you picked up, every time you said, just one more roll, led you here. That's what makes collecting so powerful. It's not just about value, it's about hope. It's about knowing that somewhere, among the ordinary, something extraordinary is waiting to be found. And the 2017 D. Lincoln penny proves that miracles don't just happen, they're minted.